Hey, this is James. Welcome to the Storage Scavenger. We'll give people a few minutes to come in. I hope y'all are doing well today. We have been excited to be here. Posted it in the chat, but Jessica may or may not be joining me. Jesse is still awake. He was as of just a few minutes ago. So hopefully he will go to sleep and she'll be able to join me. But right now he's still awake and being a little bit of a fussy butt right now. So leave me a message down in the chat. Let me know if you hello Susan, hello Marie. Thank you for joining me for now. I was just saying Jessica may or may not be able to join me, so I'm hoping she will. But I thought we'd do something a little bit different. So I've actually kind of given myself a few notes of some things that I want to go over. And I'm going to be talking about some of the big mistakes that we've made and things that we've been learning as we go and trying to kind of help other people avoid some of those mistakes themselves. Hi, Mary. Thank you for joining us. I hope everybody's doing well today. So we have been busy, been having some fun. Didn't get everything done that I wanted to because I'm a dumbass, and I'll explain that in a little bit. Glad y'all are lucky y'all got to see me today because until about 3 o'clock this afternoon, 2 o'clock this afternoon, when Jessica reminded me it was Thursday and not Wednesday, I was screwed up on what day of the week it was. Hey, Mary. Jessica and I made a prayer for you just a little bit ago. We'll keep praying for you. I hope that things get better for you. Yeah, Jesse has been a cranky turd all week long. And just he's crying almost all the time. We think he's teething. I gave him some Tylenol here just a little bit ago, so hopefully it'll kick in and he'll calm down. We think that part of it's teething anyway. Does my video look okay? Because I look weird on my side, but it may just be my computer. Does my lighting look okay? Y'all leave me a comment down there in the chat. Let me know if everything looks all right, if it looks normal. Oh, okay. Looks clear. Well, I'm hardwired into the internet, so I'm not using the Wi-Fi this time. And get some nighttime Oragel. I think we have some, actually, because we had some for Emily. So what's everybody up to today? Has everybody been having fun? I couldn't get to my storage unit today, and I'll explain that in just a little bit. Because, like I said earlier, I'm a dumbass, and I got messed up on what day of the week it was. And yesterday was our storage unit was due, and I didn't pay it because I thought it was due today. It's not that old. We just had it like a couple of months ago. I always check that kind of stuff, make sure it's not expired, but it shouldn't be because it was not that long ago that we needed it for her. She's been teething because she's losing her baby teeth and getting her adult teeth in. And some of her teeth she had already lost. She had knocked out a couple of her teeth a couple of years ago. And her adult teeth finally cut through. And she was all fussy. So we had it from when that was cutting in. Yeah, that's the thing is ever since I went to work for myself and I quit working a Monday through Friday job and I don't have a set daily schedule anymore, I never know what day of the week it is. And I'm always losing track of days of the week because I work pretty much 7 days a week anyway. So it doesn't matter to me what day of the week it is. And when you're in the position I'm in where I'm a single person trying to run a business completely and totally by myself, it's a 7-day-a-week job. It don't get days off. I don't get vacation days. And so, I take off every once in a while, but it doesn't matter what day of the week I take off. Whenever I have a chance, I'll take off. But, we don't keep a regular schedule. I don't keep regular hours either. Sometimes I'll be working all day. I'll be up at 5 o'clock in the morning and work all day. And some days I'll sleep till 10 or 11 o'clock, but I'll be working until like 2 o'clock in the morning. So, yeah. So it's actually one of the things that we're going to be covering as we go through all this, but I lost track of the days of the week, so I didn't pay my storage unit bill for my personal storage unit, where I keep all the stuff that I get out of everybody else's. And, that's just ironic, wouldn't it? Storage auction buyer loses his storage unit because he didn't pay the bill. So I had to go call them today and say, hey, don't lock me out. Well, they had already locked me out. So, because they're quick. Our facility, the day it's due, because they have a gate, and if it's not in their system that I paid by midnight on that date, I can't get into the gate. And the manager, she's over there first thing putting locks on all the units that didn't get paid. So they're really, really quick to lock people out of their units if they don't pay on time. You still got the whole process here to put them up for auction is long, so it still takes like 3 or 4 months that you've got to reclaim your unit, but they're quick on locking you out here. Well, at least you have water, I hope. We haven't had our water cut off. I haven't had the power cut off. I make sure those are paid. I haven't got evicted from my house because I make sure my mortgage is paid. And she was even sweet about it. She knows I'm always on time. I'm usually a few days early. So she was even nice. She waived the late fee for me since I was 1 day late. And I was like, dude, I forgot what day of the week it was. And she was like, no problem. And she waived the late fee for me. So I didn't even have to pay a 1 day late fee. So, all right. Well, we got a few people here. And I know I'm doing these late at night. Part of it's because of the kids. It's been hard because I'm working most of the time during the day. And then when we got the nurses go home at 6 o'clock, and from 6 o'clock until about 10 o'clock, we're busy with the kids. And that's honestly the prime time to go on for my lives. But unfortunately, I got my hands full with 2 kids at that time. So we usually pretty much have to wait. At least Emily's already asleep, and Jesse's hopefully headed that direction. But I'm trying to figure out a way I can do my live streams earlier so that it's not so late for everybody. So 1, we can get more people to come by, but 2, just because I don't want to keep everybody up so late. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to talk about 5 mistakes that I see a lot of people making while doing abandoned storage units. We've been buying storage units. We started this month is our 1-year anniversary. We started in August of last year when we bought our very first unit. It was a 5x10 unit, or no, a 5x5 unit. It had just a few totes in it and a couch. We just got rid of the couch because it was in our living room for the last year, and we actually just got rid of it and got it upgraded to another couch that came out of another storage unit. They can't cut us off because of cold beer. Well, that's good to know, Marie. We don't have that here. They cut us off. But we've made a lot of mistakes in our business over the last few years, and I thought I would kind of do a little structured thing, and I'm gonna go through and kind of share some of these mistakes that we've made as we built our business, and then we're gonna take questions and just chit chat and hang out and have a good time. I really don't have anything else tonight, so I'm willing to stay on as long as everybody else is. I need more watch time anyway, so I'm willing to stay on as long as everybody else does, but I don't want to keep everybody if they're bored and don't want to be here. So So the first mistake, one of the biggest mistakes that we made, and that I want people to understand, if you're just starting out as a scavenger, as a reseller, don't collect too much inventory, especially when you're just starting out. Don't just go out and buy everything under the sun. That's part of where I got into the bind. I bought most of the stuff that I have last year, and I haven't sourced hardly anything. I bought 3 units this year, and they were all small units. But and that's all year long. That's all I've bought this whole year. Everything else I've done and everything I've got in my storage was stuff we had before the end of the year last year. In fact, most of it was stuff we had before Christmas time, before November. Um, and so, and I've learned so much since then about how to buy stuff and sell stuff, but I'm still learning. And we're going to be talking about all that stuff that I've been learning as we go through here. But don't buy, one of the things that we've learned is don't buy more than you can process. If you're a single person operation, I personally recommend, unless you know what you're doing and you've been doing it for a while, stay away from the 10 by 10, the 10 by 20, the 10 by 30 units. Stick with those 5 by 10s, the 5 by 5s, the small units. They're easier to process. There's usually, not always, but usually less trash in them. And it's going to be something that you can handle quickly, get it through, get rid of it, either get it up for sale or get it donated, get it out the door, and then go start looking to buy more stuff. Don't go buying 4 or 5 units at a time that are 10 by 10s and 10 by 20s. And I'm talking from personal experience here. Okay. When it comes to stupid in this business, I've done it. That's how I know not to do it, because I've done it and I know what happens when you do. I'm having to fix the problems of that, and I'm having to overcome the problems of that in my business right now. So that's one of the things that I want people to understand. I'm coming from experience. This is coming from what we've done ourselves as we built up our business. Rule number 1, now you tell me. Yeah, I say that a lot about things. As I learn something, I'm like, yeah, well, you should have told me that a year ago. But you know, it's a learning experience, and my whole reason for doing this. Hello, Mr. James Aaron Smith, master moderator, back in the house. Thank you so much for joining us, James. I hope you're feeling better. I know you said you were over at the other show. Hello, Douglas. I hope you're doing it. Well, you really can't do that so much anymore, Douglas. That's one of the things that we're going to actually talk about now. Nowadays, at least here, every single one of our facilities has gone to online auctions. Every one of them. You cannot go to a live auction. Live auctions, I love live auctions because you can see it, you can smell it, you can hear any noises coming out of it. On an online auction, you've got a few pictures at best. I had some I was looking at this week. One picture kind of from the side of the front door, and that's all you got of the whole unit. And I just couldn't get a good profile up of those units, and some of them looked like they might have been decent, but I couldn't get a good sense of the unit because there was only one picture to look at, and it was at a bad angle. So, and then one of the things that I recommend, this is something I did not have, and in fact, I've been watching a bunch of YouTube channels and other stuff here just in the last week or so, learning how to do this myself, which is you need an inventory system for your listed items. You got to have some way, especially, you know, I've been okay because I've only had up to about 100, 150. But as I'm building that up right now, my goal is to get my eBay store up to 300 items. And that's going to be kind of my set par that I want to keep my eBay store out, at least until I get more comfortable with that and being able to process orders at that level. And then I'm going to probably boost it up even more. Eventually, by this time next year, I expect to double that. I want to have at least 1,000 items by this time next year on my eBay store. But right now, you know, I'm slowly building it up to a point that I can still manage by myself and that I can do it. One of the things that I'm learning that I'm trying to do, and I have no idea what I'm doing, so I'm just pulling it out of my backside here, is I'm creating an inventory system. and I'm making it up as I go because I have no idea. I've never done anything with inventory systems before. But this way, I mean, it's very simple right now. I've got bins, and I'm like, okay, this bin is clothing. This bin is housewares. This bin is video game stuff, so that I can kind of keep some sort of sense of organization to what we have with our eBay stuff. Go check out my eBay store. You just posted the link in there. Thank you, James. It's so nice having my link dropper back in the chat. But I've only got 60 items listed on eBay right now. I actually took a bunch of items off just the other day because a bunch of it's stuff that I sold at an auction last week. So I had to take some stuff off of my eBay store because I don't have it to sell anymore. And as I'm getting some stuff organized, getting some more stuff sorted out, I've got a bunch of stuff that I just brought back to the house. I'm researching. I also got the auction lots that I showed off the other day, a bunch of the brooches and stuff, and I'm researching all of those and getting ready to start listing them. And that's what we got to do. We've got to list to get things built up to that 300 point. Once I get it built up there, then it's a matter of just replacement. So once I get it built up to that 300 par, then it's a matter of just replacing what I've sold. And what I'm doing is, as I'm sorting stuff, I'm dividing these categories. And as I'm listing stuff, they're sorted into the same categories. So say something sells out of my gaming bin, then I go to my gaming sorted bin, pull something out of there, and I list that. And it goes into the gaming bin. So that's kind of this. It's a very, very rudimentary system, but it's better than what I have right now. And as I grow, I'm sure I'm going to need something even better than that. If anybody has any suggestions, you can feel free to leave it down in the chat for me. Yes, I agree with that. In fact, that's one of the things we're going to talk about here in a few minutes, Douglas. Now, one of the things that we're going to talk about, and the second mistake I wanted to talk about, mistake number 2, that is something that a lot of people get in trouble with, is actually buying cheap just for the sake of cheap. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of cheap deals and a lot of cheap units out there. But some of them, they're cheap for a reason. I've bought a lot of units that were $5, $10. And they wound up, did I make my money back? Absolutely. I got one that I'm working on right now. With some of the stuff I'm cleaning out right now was out of a unit that I bought for $5 at an auction. And there's a reason why everybody walked away from it and nobody else bid on it but me. It's because it was all crap. And I have made my money back. I made my money back in cash because I only paid $5 for the unit, and I found more than $5 worth of pocket change in the stuff I'm sorting. But 90% of the stuff that came out of that unit is going in the trash. 90% of it. The few items I'm finding that are resellable, I'll probably clear about $100, $150, and I've already put over a week's worth of work into it. Now, I don't know about you, but $150 worth of work for a week's worth of work is not worth it. You have to value your time and the time you have to spend sorting the trash, the fees that you have to pay to do a dump run, because I've already done one dump run. I got to load up the trailer and do another one. And those dump runs cost me anywhere from $90 to $150 a pop, depending on the weight of my trailer when I get there. And some of the items I have, like if I have mattresses, there's an automatic, it's like a $30 fee per mattress. If I have mattresses, which right now I don't have any mattresses that I'm dumping. But sometimes we do. Yeah, that's actually kind of what I'm doing. I actually have totes set up for specific categories in my store. So I have, because I do have an eBay store, and I've been setting up categories. So for each category in my store, I have a tote for that category in my eBay shop. So I know if it sold out of that category, that's the tote I got to go to get the item. That's the way I have mine sorted. That way I don't even have to put it in the listing and people aren't confused by what's this weird code in your listing. They don't even see it. My code is in my categories. So that's the way I have mine sorted, at least for now. By the guy that started YouTube auctions. Well, the first person I saw doing YouTube auctions was Donatella. I don't know who started it or when it started. I know Donatella was the first one I knew that was doing YouTube auctions, because I met her last year, and then this year just everybody under the sun started doing auctions. So I that's great to know, Marie. I would like to know the person's name and what their channel is so I can check them out. I'm still learning about how to do the YouTube auctions myself. And I know everybody's got them. Dwayne, I don't know who Dwayne is. There is many channels. I've got over 300 channels that I subscribe to on YouTube, and as many channels as I subscribe to, I keep finding more that I'm not. So, and I don't honestly, most of my viewing on YouTube where I actually sit down and Mothership Products. Okay, I didn't know his name. I've heard of Mothership Products, but I have not been to any of his auctions. So I will definitely check them out. I've heard of them, but I haven't been to their channel. I've got so many channels that I follow. It's hard for me to, I don't even get to spend the time on the channels that I want to, just because I've got so many and I've got so much work to do. Honestly, I don't have time to sit and watch YouTube all day like I used to. So take advantage of cheap deals when you do find them. I've had some really, really great units. That very first unit that we bought, I paid $10 for it. It was a little bit of work. It only took a couple hours worth of work, and I made over $150 off of that unit. That was a good deal. We had another unit that we bought a few months ago that was all it was a bedroom suit and a couch. The bedroom suit we sold before it even left the facility, and we actually sold it to a family member, and we paid $10 for that unit. And we sold the bedroom suit for $100, and we wound up donating the couch about 3 months later because I had listed it on Facebook Marketplace and never sold. And after about 3 months, I took it down and donated it. Well, we only paid $10, made $100. It took me like less than an hour's worth of work. Those kind of cheap deals, you can find them. And that's what I look for. I look for that good stuff. I look for stuff that I can flip quick like that. But at the same time, I'm not going to buy it just because it's cheap. Look at the trash. Use your nose. Smell. I bought a unit that was full of food, and I was stopped up or something, because this was at a live auction too, and I couldn't smell it until after I got into the unit. And once I got in the unit, I could smell it, and I was like, terrible. I regretted buying that unit, and it wound up being mostly trash again, but there was still, I made my money back, and I made a little bit off of it. I have actually only won or lost money on one unit out of everything I bought, and I paid $300 for it, and it wasn't a bad unit. I overpaid for the unit. Well, it was a bad unit, but I overpaid for the unit, honestly. My goal, my cap should have been at about $100, which is what I had originally set for myself. I got into a bidding war with somebody, and my ego got involved, and I was like, I'm not going to lose. You're not going to beat me out on this. And I kept bidding and kept bidding and kept bidding, and then I finally won it at $300. Nice, fully packed. It looked like a really awesome unit. It was full of totes, and it was packed floor to ceiling. And this goes along with what Douglas was saying. Bid on what you can see, not what you think might be in the boxes, because I paid $300 for that unit, and I got into it, and 99% of the unit was junk mail. Junk mail. Almost every one of those totes was full of junk mail. I had like 3 totes in the very back of the unit that had sellables in it. And I still got some of that stuff for sale. I have some of it I haven't even ever listed, but pretty much I'm going to make like $120 off of that unit, and I paid $300 for it. It's the only unit I've ever bought that I lost money on. Everything else, I've at least made my money back what I put into it. And most of them I have made some pretty decent profit off of. I have learned how to profile units, and that's one of the things that we're going to talk about here in just a minute. But when you're doing these, you have to learn to profile your units. You have to learn how to look at a unit and determine what you can do. You know, one of the things that I learned from one of the channels I really don't follow too much anymore, but I did learn a lot of good things from them, which is you want to pick out 1 or 2 items in that unit that you can sell and make your money back. So if you see an item that you know, hey, I know what that is, and I know I can flip it for $150, there's your limit right there. And if you do that, then everything else is profit. And that's what I do. That's what I've started doing. And now I don't limit it necessarily to one item, but if I'll see, say, 2 or 3 things in a unit that I know what I can sell them for, I can kind of give me a sell, and then everything else is profit. And that's what I do. And I have made money on almost every unit I've made. I made some really good money, even though I've gotten some really kind of crappy units. I still made some really good money because I knew what I could sell stuff for. And some of it was, I think I can sell that for this much. And then I wound up selling it for either that or more. And then I said this in yesterday's video, but one of the other things is to also take into account money saved, because I keep stuff out of units. I bought units that the whole reason I bought the unit was for stuff for personal use. I had a unit that I got for $5 at a storage auction at a public storage auction, and everybody looked at me for like I was nuts, but it had a lot of wood shelving in there, and that wood shelving is actually what I have in my stock for my eBay shelves. And that's the whole reason I bought the unit, is I wanted that shelving. And nobody else was going to buy it. So, and 90% of what was in there was trash, but I've got that shelving. And then I sold some of the items out of the unit and I made my money back. And I've got some of the items still listed for sale. I still have some interest in them. And some of it's vintage stuff, some of it's not, but, we get a lot of stuff. So you never know what you're going to find. I found in that same unit, I found 4 pairs of work boots. And I'm trying to think, I can't remember off the top of my head what the brand was, but they were one of the higher end brands. I mean, I had them listed, and I wound up selling all 3 pairs for like $100 a piece, and I only paid $5 for the unit. So you've got to learn to profile the units, but don't just discount it because everybody walks away. But at the same time, if everybody else walks away from it, you need to take a second look and really make sure you know what you're getting yourself into. That unit was a lot of work. I also went up with some things that I still haven't been able to get rid of because our dump won't even take it. I got some of those. I don't know if you remember from the 80s, the big screen TVs from the 80s that are like, 4 foot thick and 4 foot wide. I have 2 of them sitting in my yard right now because the dump won't take them. Nobody will take them on a donation. I can't get rid of them. I'm going to have to basically get out there and bust them into pieces so I can throw them in the trash. I had 2 of those things, and those things were heavy. It took me and my son both to load them and unload them. So, and then this goes along with that. When you have stuff like that, you're going to get trash. Every unit's going to have trash. So one of the things you have to do when you're profiling a unit, when you're looking at what you can make, don't just look at what you're bidding. You're going to have to look at how much trash do I think I'm going to see in this unit? How much am I going to have to pay in dump fees to clear out this unit? That's one of the things I wasn't taking into account. And I lost money not on the units themselves, but I did lose money in the fact that I was paying dump fees to dump some of this stuff and store some of this stuff. So that's one of the things that, we had to take into account. When you're looking at those units, you got to look at how are you going to store it? How are you going to dump the trash? And how much is those things going to cost you? How much is it going to cost you to haul it? That's one of the things a lot of people don't talk about. And most of the YouTubers, they talk about what they paid for the unit, but they don't talk about all the other money that they had to put into it to make their money back. So some of these units aren't nearly as profitable as they're making them out to be. Not to say that they're not making huge profits on some of these units, but and some of the stuff, some of the numbers that they're doing, they're saying this is what it could sell for, and you've got to learn the difference between an appraised value or an estimated value and the actualized value. The actualized value is what counts because that's what the items actually sell for. And that's a big difference because I've had stuff that, hey, comps are running $80, comps are $70, $90, but then you list it on eBay and 5 months later, 6 months later, you're taking an offer for $40 just to get it out of your way so you can replace it with something else. And that brings up one of our other tips that we're going to bring up here in just a few minutes. Mistake number 3, though, I want to move on. Mistake number 3 is not pre-sorting your finds. And what I mean by that is I've done this. I've gotten into a hurry and I just threw everything into the trailer and threw it in my storage. That's what I'm cleaning up now. Instead of doing that, what you need to do, and what I see a lot of other people doing, and what I recommend people to do, is you sort it at the unit as you load it. Pre-sort it. So you're sorting out the personal items that stay at the facility. You sort out the trash that's going to go to the dump. And then you sort out, these are the sellables and the items that I can resell. And even from there, break it down to this is, say, resellables, but it's flea market garage sale type stuff. And this is eBay stuff. The more you can sort it right then and there at the facility, the easier your job's going to be when you get it home. Wow, $4 to $6 a pickup truck load to the dump. I wish I could get a dump be that cheap. Unfortunately, we don't have that here. Mine, the cheapest I can get, the absolute cheapest I can get is $90, and I have to have it under a certain weight on my trailer, which is very rare, honestly. Once you factor in my truck weight, my trailer weight, it's very rare that I get under the limit of the dump fee. So you want to separate the personal items. This is one of the things I didn't do it on some of my first few units. Then I started doing it. Any personal items. So that means personal photos, and it's up to you to decide what you consider personal items, but any personal photos, photo albums, like remains, like the ashes of their loved ones or whatever, all that stuff needs to be left at the facility. And I guarantee you, especially like mine, if you take it home and then you sort it out, you're 90% of the time not going to make it back to the facility to take that stuff back. Sort it out while you're at the facility and just leave it at the office when you leave the unit. Done. The other thing is sort out your trash. Get that trash out. You don't want to be, especially if you're like me, you're paying for a storage facility. You don't want to be paying to store trash. You want to get that trash out of there, get it to the dump, get rid of it. Don't want to be paying to store trash. Part of the reason why I have 2 units right now is probably by the time I get done with donations and trash, I'm going to be down to 1 unit, honestly. I mean, I've got that much crap in my unit right now that I'm working on. I've got 2 10 by 30 units, and they were packed from front to back, floor to ceiling. It is a ton of work, especially in 100-degree heat, getting out there trying to get all this stuff sorted out. So that's a huge mistake to avoid. That's one of the things that's cost us the most money, honestly, is paying for that storage and not moving anything. Because when we were shut down for a few months, that's one of the things you got to take into account too, is set some funds aside. Luckily, we had money in savings already, so we were okay. But set money aside, because what happens if you have a shutdown or you have some reason you can't work for 2 or 3 or 4 months? I just came off of a 4-month break, not just from YouTube, but from my business. I wasn't selling anything, and I was still paying for storage for all my stuff. So you got to have money set aside to pay those fees if something happens. I recommend, I came out of the Dave Ramsey plan. So I recommend you have a 3 to 6 month emergency fund set aside to cover your business expenses, as well as a 3 to 6 month emergency fund to cover your personal expenses. Your personal budget and your business should have its own budget. Keep your business and your personal finances separate, and have a separate budget and a separate emergency fund for your business. That's going to keep you out of trouble if something happens and you can't work for a long extended period of time. So pre-sort everything. Separate your personal items, your trash, resellables, and even separate the resellables between eBay and garage sale, yard sale. And one of the things that you've got to look at is you've got to be able to know where you're going to sell stuff. You've got to learn how to sell stuff and where you're going to sell different items. Because I've had some items, honestly, they're not winding up in the trash, but they might later, because I'm going to try to sell them at a yard sale. I'm trying to do anything I can to maximize. And part of it for me is it's not about the resale. It's about keeping this stuff out of the landfill as much as I possibly can. So part of this is buying without a plan in place. And what I mean by that is a plan to sell it. How are you going to sell the items you find in that unit? You've got to know this going in, because there's so much stuff that I have collected over the last few months. I can't bring it to a YouTube auction because it just doesn't have a much resale value for the resellers that buy at my auctions. It doesn't have much collectible value. I mean, I have a whole bin. I have an entire bin in my storage that's nothing but cords and cables that I pulled out of units. And I'm probably going to take those to the scrap yard and turn it in for scrap, honestly. But it's all cords and cables. I've got HDMI cables. I've got brand new HDMI cables, never been used. But I've got like hundreds of them. I've tried listing that stuff on eBay. It doesn't move. It doesn't sell. At least it hasn't for me. And I have them priced pretty low compared to the other cables. And I'm also not trying to maximize the top end on some of this stuff. Most of my stuff on eBay is listed low end to the middle end of what they're selling for. Yes, that's where lots of empty totes comes in handy. I'm slowly building. That's actually one of the things that I look at and take into account when I'm bidding on a unit, because honestly, yeah, that's actually one of the things that we're planning on doing, Marie. I actually have a whole set of bins. That's just one example. I have a whole set of different bins of different cords and cables, and I'm going to put them out at the yard sale and be like $1 a cable or 50 cents a cable. I also have a bunch of, like, they're nice, but they're not high end, but they're belts, like waist belts, and they're women's belts. I have no use for them. And so I'm actually going to do a whole thing, a rack of belts in my yard sale that's going to be, every belt's going to be like $1 or $2. And I've got like 40 or 50 belts, because they just keep piling up. I keep finding more and more and more. They keep piling up. They don't have a lot of resale value, but I could sell them at a yard sale. One of the things that, and this is part of it, whenever I was sourcing a year ago, my primary selling place was not eBay and YouTube. My primary selling point was a flea market. So when I was sourcing, I was looking at units that I could flip at the flea market. So the products that I buy for a flea market flip are totally different than what I buy for a YouTube flip. And this is part of what I'm talking about. You need a plan as you buy stuff, because now I've got all this flea market stuff and I don't have a flea market to go to, because our flea markets are crap right now. They're still open, but it would cost me more to go and set up than I would make. So that's the thing. So that's where we're going to try to do a yard sale and flip a bunch of this stuff. We're going to donate a bunch of stuff. I took a load to the donation. I'm fixing to load up another load tomorrow that's going to donation. We're going to be doing some thrifting while we're out. While we go to the donation center, we're going to donate some stuff, and then we're going to go shopping. Because we got to go sourcing. You can't just not source even though you got 2 storage units full of crap to get rid of already. I mean, come on. See, we have some, our closest flea market's about 30 miles away. But we have, and there's a bunch of them around here, but they're not drawing the crowds because of the COVID breakout, because of everything going on. The crowds just aren't coming. And the crowds that are coming, they want everything for free. You have something that's up there, that's set out there, that's got a $20 price tag on it, and they want it for $1. You got stuff out there for $1 and they want to give you a nickel for it. I mean, it's just crazy. Our flea market is just, there's no money to be made at it right now. And most of the resellers I know that were going to our flea market are not going out there for that reason. They're having trouble filling their booths right now because they don't have the crowds. Yeah, I mean, if I'm going to do yard sale prices, I might as well just throw it at my own front yard and do it here and not go to the expense of driving all the way out there, loading up my trailer, taking it all the way out there, setting up. And the way our flea market is, like, I see these guys in California. I watch Pirate. I still watch Storage Stalker. I still watch Jeebus and all these guys. And these guys, they go out to the flea market and they set up for like 3-4 hours, and then they do a dollar sale and get rid of all their stuff, and then they pack up and go home, no matter what time of day it is. I mean, they're usually gone before noon. Our flea market doesn't let you do that. You pay for that booth, you stay in that booth. You have to man that booth all day until we shut down at 5 o'clock. It's in their rules. And if you break those rules and you pack up and you go home too early, they will not let you rent there anymore. So, you know, we're kind of at their mercy. We have to follow their rules. Well, I can't go out there and spend 8 hours sitting out there not making any money, not getting any work done because I'm sitting at the flea market instead of in my storage unit getting some work done, and not at home listing stuff where something might actually sell. You know, you got to pick and choose where you're going to spend your time. And I'm not in a position right now, at least, to hire somebody to do it for me. So it's just not worth the expense. But I'm going to try to do a yard sale. Jessica and I've already been talking about it. Well, you can sell to Canadians. The only reason it's expensive for you to ship it, James, is because you're talking mostly U.S.-based customers. But you can sell it to Canadians, and then it probably wouldn't cost as much to ship. I don't know what shipping costs in Canada, but I'm sure it's not as that most of that is the import fees for going across the border. So, but you know, you got to have a good resale plan in place before you buy it. And this is mistake number 5, which ties in with that. Not everything you buy is going to be easily sellable. Some stuff you can sell, but it's not going to be easy to sell, and it's not going to sell fast. You watch a bunch of channels, and I love a bunch of these YouTube channels, but and I know their business doesn't run this way, but they make it seem like it runs this way with the way they do their videos and they edit their content. You go out, you buy something really, really cheap, maybe $1. You put it up online, it sells for $50, $70, $100. And then the next day you go out and do the same thing all over again. It don't work that way. A lot of these items, you post it and it sits there for, some stuff does sell for in a day. I've had a couple of those videos myself. But most of the items that I've sold, it's sat on my shelf for 5, 6 weeks, 4 or 5 months. I've got stuff that I sold just last week that I've had listed since November of last year. Almost a whole year has been sitting on my shelf, and then all of a sudden it's sold. That's the way a lot of this is going to work. It's not going to be, we list it right now, we turn around, we flip it, and we go get something else to flip tomorrow. It doesn't work that way. You're going to have to, this is where that inventory system is going to come in place. It's not easy, and it's not going to be an overnight sale. I think a lot of problem too is a lot of people are very passive in how they run their eBay stores. So in other words, they post something on eBay and then they ignore it and let call me Excalibur. I do not know who that is. So if you keep it clean, if you keep stuff listed, you know, you got to keep inventory listed. You got to keep fresh product coming in. If stuff sells, you keep going all the time and adding new stuff. Oh, okay. I know what you did. You can come join me if you want to. I know whose channel that is now. I'm not gonna call him out, but I know whose channel that is. I thought it was a scammer fixing to start putting inappropriate comments in my chat, and I was fixing to have to block somebody. So I know whose channel you're on. I don't know why you're on their channel, but if Jesse's asleep, you're more than welcome to come in here. I've been sitting here waiting. Your seat is right here. So, but don't assume that items are going to sell fast. I have been shocked at the items that have sold that fast. When I sold the painting that I had 2 paintings that I've sold on eBay. One of them almost killed me. One of them almost killed me on the shipping because I didn't pre-package it and I did not have accurate shipping information in there, and I almost lost money on the shipping. But that one took about a week to sell it after I listed it. The other one, I listed it, and the next morning it was sold. And I sold it for $100, and I probably undersold it. I probably could have sold it for more than 100 and taken just a little bit longer to sell it. But not everything is going to sell that fast. In fact, most items you list on eBay are not going to sell that fast. So make sure that you are giving yourself time for stuff to sell. Make sure you understand it's not going to be quick flips on everything. Some things are going to flip quick, but some things are going to sit for weeks or months. So you have to have some place to store it. You have to have some separation between your listed items and your unlisted items. And you've got to have some organization. And I'm one of the worst people in the world about organization. And I'm telling you, you've got to get yourself organized. It's one of the things I've been fighting with for months. I'm trying to get myself more organized, get rid of junk, get more stuff in that's good stuff, and keep it in a more organized fashion so that I can quickly list stuff and move stuff around as I sell it. So, and those are kind of the top 5 mistakes that I really recommend that you avoid. So mistake 1, let's just go back through them real quick. 1, collecting too much inventory that you don't have the ability to process or sell. Mistake 2 is avoiding buying cheap stuff just for the sake of it being cheap. So if it's cheap, that's great, but make sure that you know what you're buying. Make sure that you can flip it before you buy it. Not pre-sorting, not sorting out your stuff before you leave the facilities. That's one of the huge mistakes that we've made, getting in a rush, and now I'm sorting it as I go. And building a solid plan of how you're going to resell items, and just keeping in mind that not everything is easily resellable. Some things are resellable. It just takes a long time, or it's going to go for dirt cheap and still take a long time. So that was pretty much all I had. So I hope anybody's got any questions. Anybody wants to just chat. If anybody's still here, unless I bored everybody and they left because I've been rambling on for almost an hour. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff you can make money on, and there's a lot of stuff that people say you can make money on. And another thing is, just because stuff's listed on eBay for a certain amount or it's sold on eBay for a certain amount doesn't mean that it's going to sell fast at that amount. I've seen stuff. I have stuff that I looked up the comps on when I got it, and it's still sitting on my shelf, and I've had it for 6 months. I've got stuff on my eBay store right now that I listed in October and November of last year that's still sitting on my shelf over here. Still hasn't sold. It's still just sitting there. And I have some items that are just turned over and turned over and turned over. So it just depends. And some of it may just be the time of year too. There's some stuff that sells in better in different seasons. Hello. I didn't realize you were on his channel. I was just like, I didn't know that that was his channel name. And I was just like, do you want some company? Wink. This is fixing to get somebody spammed if they start spamming my channel with this stuff while I'm on my live stream. I ain't gonna tolerate that kind of behavior. I didn't. Once I figured it out, I was like, oh, I know who that is. I'm not gonna dox him here on YouTube, but I know who that is. So I'm guessing Jesse finally went to sleep.
Yes, that would be my son's channel. I didn't realize I was signed into his channel either.
Draper. Hello, Mick. How are you doing today? Hope you're doing well.
Hi, Mick. Hi, Aaron. Long time no see.
So what did you clean out of the barn, Marie? Hey, don't look at my backyard. My backyard makes the Beverly Hillbillies look like they got a clean place. I mean,
yeah, I've been getting on to him about that yard too.
Our house kind of looks like a junkyard right now. I got stuff strewn all over the front yard, the backyard, the side of the yard.
Look what the scavenger brought in. He brought me in.
Yeah.
Oh, since you have your coffee, I'm gonna go get me something to drink, guys.
Give me some coffee while you're there.
What am I, your slave?
I cook you dinner. I serve you dinner. You can at least give me one cup of coffee every once in a while.
I'll get him a cup of coffee. Wait, do I need to put anything on it or black?
Just
okay.
Black.
All right, I'm gonna come back with water since he has coffee. I'm gonna do water, and I'll let you know if there's any coffee left. So I'll be right back, guys.
So, did you see who was in the chat? She'll come back in a minute. So, Northern Idaho. Don't answer that. It's a trap. It's a trap. It's a trap. Pull back. No, never argue with free. I mean, I've gotten some free loads of stuff. That's one of the other things. That's part of why I'm looking at, kind of changing some things up. Because my scavenging isn't limited to just storage units, y'all. I look on Facebook Marketplace. Hell, my trailer I scavenged off of Facebook Marketplace. It was listed for $1,000. They dropped it down to $350, and I snagged it. I dropped like 4 hours away to get it in the middle of an ice storm. But I got a $1,000 trailer for $350, and I scavenge stuff on Facebook Marketplace, and some of it I'll scavenge it on Facebook Marketplace and then turn around and flip it on Facebook Marketplace like a couple of days later for like 3 times the money because I know what they had and they didn't. And I've got feelers out all around town. I've got people that know, hey, I'm looking for stuff. If you find free deals, there's a free section. You can go into Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace, and people list stuff and say just free. Well, if it says free and it looks like something I can flip, I'm going to go get it. I'll take my trailer and drive all over town. And, I've seen furniture, and we have over where we used to live, which is San Marcos. It's about a 30-minute drive away. It's a college town. Those college kids go home, and they left all their furniture just all over there. You can go all over town, hit every dumpster in town and pick up furniture and then turn around and sell it.
Do you want good news or bad news?
What?
The bad news is you got half a cup of coffee.
Half a cup's better than no cup.
He only gets half a cup of coffee. I get me.
Is the cup half empty or half full?
Yes, free is always
totally
good. I agree.
Because if it's only half empty, it won't be empty. It won't be half empty for long. It'll be gone.
So who all do we have on chat today? Well, I noticed Aaron. I'm so glad to see Aaron's back.
Yep.
Thank you, Aaron.
We were over at Grimes's earlier, and he was in there.
Oh, okay. Well, we don't have too many people today, do we? There's a lot going on today, I guess.
5 right now.
Okay.
Well, it's also 11 o'clock at night.
Oh, and I saw Marie. Marie, hi.
So, what's everybody up to besides Marie cleaning up free stuff? Take free. I love free. If I find free stuff that I know I can flip, I'm all over it. If it's That's free stuff and I think I might have to sort out some of it and I might be able to flip some of it. And Jessica, she likes the whole DIY projects. And she's always coming up with great DIY ideas. The problem is she expects me to do all the work. So she's like, I have this great idea. You need to do it.
I'm not handy with tools at all.
But don't expect me to do it because I've got myself overloaded with stuff already. And you want to throw more projects on my already overloaded schedule.
It's half of it's full of coffee and the other half is full of air.
Nope.
Now it's full of nothing.
Now it's full of the dregs of the
now
cup.
he's gonna have to keep the coffee to himself, I guess, and go do something about it. But I got mine. See, yep. That's my coffee for right now. Diet.
She doesn't like coffee. I mean, I live on coffee and she doesn't drink. She doesn't drink coffee at all. So.
In fact, we had a family emergency this morning. Me and James were just barely getting to bed about 4 o'clock this morning. 4.
Yeah, 3:30. 3:30. I finally got Emily back to sleep.
3:30. We drifted off till 4, and about 5 o'clock, I got a phone call from my father. He had taken a spill, and so I had to catch a couple of Z's and then go see him. I told him to take some Tylenol or ibuprofen. It didn't work though, but so that was the thing for the day, and then James got to. Scavenger got to babysit for a little bit.
Yeah, I had Jessie most of the day, and then she came home and she was like, "Did you call the storage unit and pay the bill yesterday?" And I was like, "No, it's due today." And she was like, "No, it was due yesterday." And that's when I was like, "Oh crap!"
Yep, he got himself locked out of his own storage accidentally. So, what are we discussing tonight?
We already done.
We've already
been on for almost an hour.
Oh man, I missed it. What did we discuss? I guess I'm going to catch up real fast, guys. Okay.
Pretty much. That's basically what we talked about for the last hour.
Oh, yeah. James collects a lot. That is, I have to say.
So, but yeah, we've been still sorting stuff out. I am possibly going to be doing a pop-up auction over the weekend. And I've got a few times I didn't get enough sorted out, especially with not being able to get into the storage unit today. I wasn't able to get enough stuff to put together a really good auction. So, but I'm trying to put together some lots, and if I can get about 10 to 15 lots put together, I'm going to try to run an auction this weekend and try to share some stuff. I've been seeing them in a lot. I know a lot of people are doing really good with them right now. They're kind of booming, but I got a lot of baseball cards and football cards. I'm going to be selling those if anybody's interested.
Yeah, he does.
If not, because anything that doesn't sell at my auction, I'm probably going to go ahead and throw it up on my eBay on an auction there. And if it doesn't sell there, then it's
blah, blah, source something, blah, 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 hello, blah, blah, blah. Aaron. Well, now we know what he's saying to you. Well, okay, I'm caught up now. That's kind of what it went like, Aaron.
Well, he was talking earlier about he's trying to watch everybody's videos that's been up the whole time he's been gone. So it's going to take him like 7 months of watching 12 hours a day to catch up with everybody. I was telling him he doesn't have to watch every single video that he's put out for the last 4 months.
Well, I was slaughtering names this week. I slaughtered Victoria's. Called her Veronica.
Victoria Veronica.
Called Rhonda. Were they both ours? Rhonda something. I don't remember what I called Rhonda, but I called her Rhonda something or other. That was earlier this week. It's because I'm still getting to know everybody. At least you have the fortunate.
I don't know everybody's
you're
names.
Able to
I'm
get
still
some
learning a bunch of these people's names. I'm still trying to learn my own name some days.
And yes, Diet 7-Up is like champagne. I agree. Not my husband though; he hates it.
Yep. So
okay,
we also, sorting stuff out. I've got some pottery pieces. I don't know if anybody's going to be interested in them. I think they're pretty cool. They're handmade. One of the units that we got back in November of last year, the lady was a crafter. She had jewelry making stuff. She had pottery making stuff. She had all kinds of craft stuff. And I stole most of the craft stuff, but I found some more pottery and stuff that I still hadn't sold. And I found a bunch of pottery blanks and like ceramic blanks, but I also found some made pieces that I haven't sold yet. I hadn't tried to put them up for sale. I think I'm going to try to put those up and see if anybody's interested. If not, I'm going to throw it on my eBay, probably on an auction, because I've had that stuff since last year. I'm about ready to just move it out of my way. And if somebody buys it, they buy it. If not, if it goes through probably a couple of cycles on the eBay auction and it doesn't sell, I'll probably, donate that stuff and just move it at the door.
Yeah, Marie, I have to say I did see her name pop up at Veronica.
Oh, Victoria.
Veronica at night. I did see her name pop up as Veronica. Victoria. And then I don't know where I got Veronica. I just called her Veronica.
I think somebody else might have called her Veronica in the chat or something.
Yeah, but I did see Victoria first, and then I called her Veronica. So there it went. And then I keep on calling her right now too. So
and we had a really, really good time last night. I was over at Thrift Traders auction all night last night for Danny May. They went until midnight. I don't know if those of y'all that were not there.
I didn't get there.
They stayed on until midnight, and it was just one person after another after another.
Pirates. I was like, no one's gonna be able to be pirate at the moment.
I wish I had that kind of money. He's gonna get it. Because
I wish I had that type of money
in his pocket to drop if he wants to. I mean,
pirate. If you ever see this, let me tell you, I think you got some good stuff there too. Because I was like,
it was great. It was for a good cause. Unfortunately, most of the lots we were actually interested in, they went way out of our budget that we had available to spend very, very quickly.
Yeah, we have rent to pay.
We do have bills to pay, and with me not working for the few months, yes, we've had money in savings, but the money's kind of dried up, and that's part of why I had to get back to work.
I agree with you, James. It was
5.5 hours long. And we were there. I was there for the whole live stream.
Hey, I was there when they hit 300. I remember they were hitting 300.
We had over 300 people in there at one time. When they cut off, and they were even amazed at this, at midnight when they cut off, there were still 180 people in the chat.
It's nice to meet you too. Oh, and I like Andy Griffith too. We watched that. Is it on right now?
I've never had champagne, but I don't drink alcohol, so.
Night, Mick.
Yeah, they did a lot of really good for Danny May last night. There was a lot of things that sold for way more than their value on a resale perspective. But
Mick, I'm sorry I didn't get to see you sooner. I would have loved to have joined.
And I think most of them will probably at least, maybe get some of their money back if they sell the items that they got. But most of it was just to help Danny May out anyway. And everybody kind of knew that. Everybody wasn't about, how am I going to make a buck off this? They were about how can we support Danny May. So,
that was very nice to watch.
That was, and that's one of the things I love about this community, because that's just, I've seen them do it for multiple different charity auctions that they've done through this community. And, everybody pulls together and they support each other whenever something goes bad like that. And that's one of the things that we like.
Definitely. Next time.
And this is something that, I tell people all the time. I hang out with the resellers online. I really don't. Okay, I do resell, but I don't do this stuff, and I don't do my YouTube channel for reselling purposes. I don't consider myself a reselling channel. I'm a treasure hunting channel. That's what I'm about. I'm about the hunt. I'm about, what can I find that may have some value. So we compare it with the reselling. We use the reselling tools because it does show the value of what we're finding in our treasure hunts. But I'm in it for the hunt. I'm not in it for the resale.
I like going to garage sales and finding the hunt. Or
she likes going garage selling to do treasure hunting. I'd rather go buy a storage unit.
It's fun going garage selling sometimes.
But
yes, you can get more at a storage room than you can from a garage sale. But sometimes when you don't have the exact $200 or $1,000 to drop on a storage room, but
I've seen people drop that $200 at garage sales in a single day.
Yeah, but they also get a whole. Well, I always usually
come away with about 1/10 of the stuff that you get out of a storage unit.
Yeah, but they're not me either. So I mean, look what I did. $27 off of all that jewelry and we got, but it wasn't just jewelry. We got other stuff too, but I think those sold too pretty fast. But I got a lot of stuff.
I still got some of that jewelry. That's one of the things that I'm going to probably put in my yacht.
Are y'all curious to see what the jewelry looks like? Just show them one piece.
I don't have it where I can get to it right now.
Well, guess y'all don't get to see.
I still have some of it. That doesn't mean
I didn't want him to bring the whole thing out, but I was gonna say bring out.
It's all in one bag, and I can't reach it right now.
Oh well, sorry.
It's way over there.
It's all in one bag. Yeah, I would go get it, but I don't know if he wants me to.
No, we'll show it later. I showed it off before already, anyway. So they might have to just go check out my other videos and find the video where I have it.
I thought that was the other ones. Well, it was exciting. Oh, and I want to go estate sale hunting, and I want to go.
She wants to go to estate sales.
Yeah, we should do the versus storage scavenger.
I'm doing some versus videos on my channel. It's something, I spend
as much diversity.
We shush for a minute and let me finish my sentence for once.
Sorry.
So, I spend as much time studying how YouTube works and how to build my channel and how to, get more engagement on my channel as much time as I spend on other, reselling channels. And so, like, one of the things that I'm learning, that's why I did the versus video yesterday where I'm doing the storage units versus thrifting. And I'm going to be doing more of those. So I'm going to be doing a video coming out that's going to be thrifting versus garage sales and garage sales versus dumpster diving, garage sales versus, and all these different combinations of the versus videos, because those tend to do really well in YouTube's algorithm. They get a lot of traffic sometimes, and they get a lot of engagement on them. So estate sales can be huge scores, and they can also be a big, huge bust. So, but it's just like any of them. I mean, any one of these sourcing, that's the thing. You've got estate sales, you got thrift stores, you've got storage auctions, you've got dumpster diving, you've got regular auctions, you've got scavenging on Facebook Marketplace, you've got yard sales, you've got flea markets. Any one of those, you can find huge, huge scores, and you can have a total bust. Every single one of them, you can have your good days, or you're going to have your bad days. I'm still learning. And this is one of the things that I talk about in strategic. For those of you that were not at Ecom and Beyond the other day, this was one of the discussions we were having. Do you follow one source of selling, like, say, eBay, or do you diversify to Mercari, Poshmark? And one of the comments that I made is you should focus on one, learn all the ins and outs, and then move on to the next one and learn it.
But we haven't really done really good with Poshmark.
Again, I listed 2 items on Poshmark.
That's true.
Because my focus has been on learning eBay. Right now, my focus, I've kind of got eBay down. I just need to build it back up. But I kind of understand how eBay works now. Now I'm learning YouTube auctions. It's a whole different platform. It's a whole different way of selling. I'm focused on learning how to do these auctions and improving. And once I get that dialed in, then maybe I'll throw in Mercari.
What do y'all think?
Then I'll throw in
what do y'all think? Do y'all agree with James, or do y'all think y'all
yes, you want to diversify into multiple streams of income, but you want to be extremely highly focused on learning one area, one way of doing things. It's the same way with YouTube. I have 5 YouTube channels.
Then you should all of my time
all of my time and attention is on this one because I'm building one up to where I want it to be. I'm not out there trying to build all 5 channels because I would be freaking scattered brain dead. And some of them I'll never put content on again, and some of them I will go back to and add content and build those up later. But I'm focused and not finished, and I'm focused on trying to achieve what I want with this channel and getting it to a certain point before I diversify into other things.
I feel really blessed. James, I was just asking about you this week, by the way. You can ask James over here. I was asking about you, saying that I missed you and I hadn't seen you. So I'm so glad to see you here tonight with us.
No offense, James. Don't be posting that link because that website's not online right now.
Oh, really? Do we have to pay for that too?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, looks like we're gonna have to pay for it real fast, James. Sorry about that.
I'll do it. I'll mess with it later. It's my HostGator account.
He's kind of behind on everything.
Behind right now.
I'm having to remind him about everything too. So.
Yeah, I'm chasing my tail right now, trying to get caught up on a bunch of stuff. So, but my web hosting got turned off because I have to go pay them too.
Yeah, right.
And I didn't get to it today, so I'll get to it later, and I'll get everything turned back on.
I've been doing good, a lot better.
But actually,
no hospital stays anymore.
People can, if people want to register, they can just send my information. It's storage scavenger at. Let me put it up here. I got it on my banner. StorageScavenger@gmail.com is my email for questions about the storage auction business. Storage questions about YouTube, possible collaborations, or to pre-register for my auctions. You can send anything that you want to contact me about my YouTube. Email me right there because that's where all of my YouTube emails are going right now.
Oh, that's good to know. Now I have to go catch up with the conversations.
So,
what good conversations have I missed?
Most of it was about what I was talking about.
I saw something about a box, though. I think James posted it earlier about finding a box.
I don't know. But I was in the middle of something and I got derailed again, and now I lost it.
Auctions. You're talking about auctions.
I mean, so what I was talking about is diversity in platforms. I was talking about this on Ecom and Beyond the other day in the chat, which is you want to focus on learning one system all the way in and out. Now, where I was going with this is it works on the other side too of sourcing. Learn one method of sourcing, learn all the ins and outs, learn how it works, and then diversify and start learning another one. So we've been learning storage auctions. We've learned quite a bit about storage auctions. We've learned a lot of the do's and don'ts. We've gotten pretty good at figuring out how to profile these units better and get better stuff. Now,
I agree, Marie.
I usually go back and watch the replay the next day so I can see the chat and everything. It takes about a day for StreamYard to get the live chat processed and back up. But yeah, I usually go back and watch it a day or two later and see.
Yeah, he'll say, I didn't know you were talking about that on the live. And I was just like, yeah, we were.
So that, and I like to watch myself because, you know, I'm just obsessed with myself.
You mean like,
no, I'm always trying to improve. I'm constantly working to improve my channel, my content, how I'm delivering my content, the energy, the conversations. And there's just no, even with a small group like this, I can't keep up with everything that's going on in the chat and do what I'm trying to do over here. So I do miss some things. I don't deny that. I do miss some people. Some people have gotten offended because I didn't say hi when they came in the room. I'm not saying today, but it has happened in the past. It's not personal. You know, I try to greet people when I see them. But, you know, I mean, I struggle with it with, 6 to 10 people in the chat. Imagine some of these guys that get 500, 1,000 people in their chat. They can't read that chat because it goes so fast. You can't even see 90% of what was said.
Yeah, it does sometimes go very fast. Especially when you're 50, 60, and then you have all the lagging that's going on.
Yep. So, but what I was getting at is you want to diversify, but you want to focus on learning one or two things at a time. We've been doing the stuff. We've been doing the storage units. We've done a few thriftings. I'm getting a little better at thrifting. I still not very comfortable with doing thrifting personally. I do it, but I don't consider myself really good at it.
Yeah, I love it.
90% of the here's the thing. I've sold 2 or 3 items really, really quickly, and almost everything else I bought at a thrift store is still sitting on my shelf. None of it's sold. I've had like 2 or 3 items that I've flipped really quick from thrifting, and everything else I've got it and it's sitting here. And I looked at the comps, I did all the research, I did all the stuff. I know that they have some value. Right here. Winnie the Pooh coffee mug. I bought this in December. I thought it was going to flip pretty quickly. I even had it up before Christmas. I was thinking it would sell as a good Christmas present. It's a beautiful cup. I paid 50 cents for it at the flea market, but it's still sitting here almost a year later. I guess stuff like that.
Star Wars sells. Star Wars.
I've had Star Wars stuff that's been listed for 8 months and it still hasn't sold.
I don't know. Maybe they're asleep. I mean, they seem to be waking up again.
Some of it sells, some of it doesn't. I do have some more Star Wars stuff. I showed it.
You know what, James? The other day. We have noticed that sometimes the strip stores are a little expensive. They're not like they used to be. I agree with you there.
They're not like they used to be.
They're starting to sell everything like what you would sell.
Some of them do. Goodwills are really bad about it.
Yeah. Horrible.
They've started doing, because they see all these YouTube videos, so they're starting to do more research on the stuff they're selling in it. But this hit or miss. I mean, just a few months ago, I caught a painting at Goodwill for $10, flipped it for $100. I got a pair of Nikes for $20, flipped it for $100.
Mm-hmm.
So you can still find them. You just have to know what you're looking for, and that's my problem.
He doesn't.
I get lucky every once in a while, but most of the time I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just taking a shot in the dark and hoping it works.
No, that's okay.
I've had a few items. I mean, we had that one. We had the 5-disc CD changer. We bought it for $12. Sold it to her dad for $40 after it had been listed on eBay for 4 months. Still made some good money off of it.
Oh, well, we would have sold it.
And we didn't have to ship it.
We would have sold it a lot faster had I known it hadn't. I thought he had already sold it, so I didn't realize we still had it.
But I was like 5-disc CD chainer. It was a Sony. I thought that thing's going to sell quick. It's going to sell expensive.
I know, because some of your other stuff sold really fast. Oh, yeah, he has a microphone over here.
I've had that microphone listed like 2 or 3 times and it's never sold.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a good microphone. It was a good microphone. That one wasn't even a thrift or a storage auction buy. That was a personal microphone, but I upgraded. I got a better microphone for my videos and stuff, and I don't need it anymore. But it's still a good microphone. It's like a $120 microphone. We snagged that one at a pawn shop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we did.
So really nice there's another way to go catch stuff. Every once in a while, again, they're just like thrift stores, though. You go in them pawn shops, and sometimes they got that old stuff that's listed like it's freaking brand new. You would think, I mean, you go to see some of those TVs in a pawn shop, some of them are priced like a brand new TV over at freaking Best Buy.
Over here, the flea markets depend, James. Over here, we have one flea market that everybody goes to, and they expect to pay everything for $1, $2, something like that. I'll pay $5 for. Yeah,
everybody here haggles. They haggle.
They haggle big time. To nothing at one of our flea markets.
I had one time. It was the one and only time I had an item out at my flea market for $100, and people were trying to give me $5 all day for it.
Yeah,
and I was just like, "Can you not see that it's $100 item? There's no way I'm letting it go for $5."
Right.
I mean, give me a reasonable offer. Give me some place to start a negotiation. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
$5 for a $100 item. You think I'm going to take it just because I want to get rid
But there's another side, like towards San Antonio, where there, people will pay a little bit higher.
See, haggles at Walmart. Some people do. I've never done that before, but I've heard of people that try to negotiate there at the grocery store.
I heard you're supposed to be able to haggle with Goodwill, but I don't know.
And I hate haggling. I would rather just, that's the price. Here you go. Let's go.
Yeah, he's very bad at it. He leaves that up to me.
I don't like haggling. I hate
he does.
It's the conflict. I hate that. I hate that.
There's no conflict. You just say, hey, will you take this for it? Yeah, it's either a yes or a no. It doesn't hurt to ask. You know, and
see, I'd rather just that's the list of price. Here's your money. Let's go.
Yep, that's him.
That's
like,
the way I do things.
Like this is what we did. We bought a Eddie Bauer Suburban, and I told him I'm going to do them down off of this Suburban, and he was like, "No, I was like, hey, that'll be whatever price that they haggle, and I haggled them down off of the Suburban, so we got it for $4,000 instead of $45,000. For the Suburban, and I'm the one that usually haggles with people. So James just leaves that to me because he's gotten himself in trouble.
I don't like to haggle
because then when he starts,
I have no shame with the fact I don't like haggling. He
haggles us sometimes.
I'd rather just pay whatever the price is.
He haggles us sometimes in the worst possible way because they'll be giving us a really good deal. Then James will open his mouth, and next thing I know, we're having to pay the full price. Or they're saying, "Well, you know what? Since we can get more for this, we're gonna have other people come in." And I'm like, James, I could just, honey. And he's just being friendly, but he just screwed us over with the haggling, so he leaves that all to me.
I don't like to haggle anyway. So, but it's the same thing, you know, different sourcing. You know, you want to do dumpster diving. I want to learn dumpster diving. I think
that's fun.
I enjoy watching the dumpster diving videos. Kind of nervous to do it around here because I know in our town it's legal, but if we go to the next town over, it's not. So you have to be careful of where you're at around here because in some towns it's legal. There's a whole bunch of little bitty towns around us. Some of those towns it's legal, some of those towns it's not. So you got to know where you're at.
I do that too, James. Walmart's really good at doing that, discounting their beef. He's saying he likes.
Oh yeah, I looked through the meat, and I'll look through and find. But I'm talking about getting to the freaking checkout counter and haggling over my grocery bill. No, I'm not gonna do that.
I do if I think that they accidentally charged me wrong too. I want that 87 cents instead of that $2.24.
Well, that's the difference between miscalculating your charges or not giving you the discount that was on the. Or I hate it when they're like ringing through your coupons and like, oh, that's not the item that was on the coupon, and I was like, but you had it right there with the coupon. Then that means that's the stuff that goes with the coupon.
Him and my son hate this about me, but I am like, we'll go out and
she looks for reason to complain that she possibly can.
No,
yes, you do.
No, I figure if you're gonna get something to eat and you ordered something and you ordered it the way you wanted to order it, then you should get it the way that you ordered. Okay, and then sometimes they leave stuff off of your order. I mean, come on, that's ridiculous. I mean, okay, for mustard,
but
I might
call and throw a fit over the tiniest little thing.
No, it's not tiny.
Now, some things I agree. When you find a piece of their ice cream machine,
yeah, I found a piece of their ice cream machine
in your milkshake.
It grossed me out. It was gross.
Then you should call and complain.
Hey,
but if they accidentally put mustard instead of mayonnaise on my hamburger, it's not worth the drive for me to go over there and get another hamburger.
That doesn't upset me too much. It's when you forget the cheese. I have to have cheese on my hamburger.
Sometimes it's because I screw up on the order too. It may not always be them because sometimes you go look at the receipt and it's like it's not even on the ticket. They didn't even put it on the order.
Then that means my husband screwed up. But
I make mistakes.
But they also are really bad at skipping a whole bunch of stuff sometimes. Like I think there was one time they skipped a hamburger, some French fries.
Yeah, you have to check your orders.
You have to check your orders big time around here. So, but he hates it. James and my son hate it.
Well, it's that she will call and complain like.
Right? I agree. Thing. You need the cheese. And I hate onions on my hamburgers too. So he'll forget to tell me no onions. But, an entire cake? I don't think I've ever had to call for an entire cake before. I know that Walmart will give you 100% of your cake back or Sam's will give you 100% of your cake back if it's dissatisfied if they did something wrong with it. But I've never had to call on a cake. So I don't know.
We don't hardly ever buy whole cakes. She's diabetic, so she can't eat them. If we buy a whole cake, it's going to wind up in the trash because it'll go bad before I can eat it all.
Or I just give it to my neighbors and be nice. Here you go.
Yeah, so we're either giving it away or it winds up in the trash because usually.
Or I make sure it's cake that he likes.
When we have the celebrations for the kids and stuff, we'll get cupcakes.
I believe
Small
that.
individual portions.
Yeah, we get cupcakes. She said KFC forgets cake half the time. They have a chocolate cake, right, Marie? If I remember
one
correctly.
Of the meals, I guess.
You can add it or something. I know it's pretty darn good. But yeah, like the cake. If I ordered cake, I'd probably have to go back for it.
Yep.
So, but anyways, that's one thing that he hates about it.
Well, and to me, it's not worth it to cause a big scene and spend 45 minutes on the phone.
I don't cause a scene. I'm really nice on the phone. I'm just saying, hey. Or I've been known to get it. I've been known to get a hair or something, or I'll have like something inside my cup, so I'll call them on that too, just in case they have like a whole cup full that got whatever. I think people need to know that. No, hey, I got your thing, and it came back with a little piece of hair on it, or it's got some dirt in it. Because you don't know if you're serving that same dirt to somebody else, so they can get rid of it. Or hey, I found a piece of mold on your hamburger bun, which I've seen that before too, and had to call on mold. So but
she's got to find something to complain about.
No, it's just that I think about the customer behind me too. It's just not about me. It's about the customer behind me too, because they're getting the same service I'm getting, and I wouldn't want somebody to eat mold off of a piece of bread. Just saying. But that actually mold is worth calling about. Some of the other stuff maybe not. Maybe
I agree. There's some things that are worth calling over, but 90% of it, you're just causing trouble.
Right, James? Yuck. I agree.
I don't eat the mold. I just tear it off. Keep on going.
That's him. He's the one that if he finds a bug in it on his food, oh look, it's only protein, and I'm like, protein. Oh my god, that's so gross.
Hey, you don't go camping as much as I've gone camping and not expect a few bugs in your food every once.
Yeah, and I'm the type of person, if a fly lands on my food, that's it.
Yeah,
I won't touch it. I will not touch it. Forget no.
I don't eat it. I'm like,
especially if it touches it 2 or 3 times, and usually if I see flies flying around, I'm like, shoot the flies away so it won't get on my food, because if it touches my food, I'm not going to eat it. So I mean,
then you'll
they carry germs.
Anything else?
Well, when we go out to eat, I ask them that too, because sometimes there's those flies that people let in and stuff. But we do take out. We don't sit inside anymore. We do mostly all takeout. Oh, James, I'm so sorry. Subway. We live in a small town too. We have a Subway too, but we live in a small town, so we only have the choices of.
You got Subway. You got. We got a lot of.
We
choices.
Do have a McDonald's. We have a McDonald's.
Sonic. We have KFC now.
Oh yeah, we didn't have a KFC. We've gotten big time now. We've got KFC now. Yep, he's right. But everything's along the strip, so it takes us like 5 minutes to get there.
One main strip through town, and that's like where everything is, because
I love it.
You get off that strip, and it's nothing. I mean, you got a few residential areas.
So let's just say that if your food is cold by the time when you get home, there's a problem, because that means your food had been staying out there. They were doing something else, because you shouldn't have cold food by the time you get home. So
we have the major highway that ranks from Austin down to I-10 comes right through our town, and that's really the only thing that keeps this town alive is the traffic and coming through that highway, because there's really nothing else here. There's no industry hardly at all.
No shopping centers except for Walmart.
There's no shopping. There's no.
We just have Walmart and HEB.
Yeah, Walmart, and we got our grocery store.
And cell phones, because we can't live without our cell phones. Oh, talking about cell phones, have you told them that you
I told him on my live the other night.
Oh yeah, he totally busted up his cell phone. You should have seen him. I have good news and I have bad news.
6-hour drive to Taco Bell.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah, I don't do Taco Bell here. Our Taco Bell got shut down a few months ago for things in their food that shouldn't be.
Yeah, James, I'm sorry.
Let's just say they got some extra protein.
Yuck. Yuck.
They shut it down. So
I don't
was
know.
nasty.
He heard that through the grapevine. I don't know. I never.
Oh
heard
no,
anything.
it was all over. It was in the newspaper. It was all over the
I
Facebook
don't remember
marketplace,
hearing it.
the Facebook groups. And
Oh yeah, I get on the Facebook groups.
it was
a lot,
shut
so.
down. That's why they shut it down. They had to remodel the whole store. They had a lot of.
I know.
training.
That's what I was saying. Poor James. He doesn't get to eat anywhere good. Can't even get a Chick-fil-A sandwich. Oh, I want a Chick-fil-A so bad today.
Being the way I am anyway, don't eat out. Eat at home. It's cheaper. It's easier. I mean, nowadays most of your stuff you can get just as good as stuff at the grocery store in the frozen food section as you can get at a fast food place, and you don't have to make the trip to go get it, so you get it faster. And it's not as cheap as making everything from scratch, but it's cheaper than paying $7 for a single meal over at McDonald's, or you can pay like $3 or $4.
Yeah,
for that same
or
meal
I would
make it at home.
I would say yes, because sometimes you get the leftovers, but in my house there are no leftovers. They end up staying on the
I'm not just saying
stove.
leftovers. I'm saying
The other day James left a whole bunch of meat on the stove.
I'm not saying leftovers, just leftovers. I'm saying, like, you know, they have the chicken sandwiches that taste just like Chick-fil-A's chicken sandwiches. Pop those things in the microwave for 2 minutes.
HEB. Oh wait,
and they're done.
James, you don't have an HEB. Sam's has them though.
I mean, you've got hamburgers. You pop them in the microwave, 2 minutes, they're done. You got corn dogs, hot dogs, anything you can get at a fast food restaurant, you can get it in the freezer section of your grocery store and make it at home, and it's going to be cheaper than going to that restaurant and buying it.
Yeah, right now my son's into lean cuisine, spinach and mushroom pizzas. He thinks those are the best. So if y'all, I actually tasted one. It's actually kind of good.
Oh,
it tasted like
cooked spinach on it. So
I didn't taste cooked spinach. It tastes like Alfredo. It tastes like the Alfredo sauce is on top of it. He loves it. So y'all get a chance and y'all hear about that, y'all should grab some. He said it's pretty good. But I'm kind of like James. I'm not a fan of spinach. So you're a fan of mushrooms, though. Just take the spinach out. That's all you have to do. I took a bite that had some sauce. I don't think I had too much spinach on mine,
but see, I spent most of my life being so dirt poor, broke. When I grew up, I mean, my experience with thrifting was not for resale. My experience with thrifting was because that's what everything I owned came from, you know, growing up. I mean, if it didn't come from Goodwill, it was a hand-me-down from somebody else.
No, Marie, not artichoke. It was spinach and mushrooms.
But, I mean, I grew up dirt poor. And because of that, we didn't eat out. If we ate out once a month, it was a treat.
Well, look at that. James says when he makes his famous chicken lasagna, he costs $45. He might as well have just gone into the store. I kind of agree with you there.
Well, you can cook high class food for
here's a good one, James. A good one, like how you said just now. James does make a good point. There are some things that you can save money on and you can get it. But let's talk about Thanksgiving dinner. You pay, some people pay like for 2 turkeys. So let's say that's $14. Then you have to pay for the trimmings, everything else. By the time you're finished, you're probably got like $100, maybe $120. I don't know. How much do you pay, Marie? When you do that, you know, depending on everybody's, I think it's anywhere from like 100 to
depends on what you've got.
Yeah, what, you know, how many people you're feeding. But
it's going to depend on how many people you're feeding.
But for us, it makes sense to just go out, buy the turkey, because we can get the turkey, the dressing,
But you're talking about
everything else for like $65.
Apples,
and you don't have to cook it.
Buying 2 turkeys and all this extra food.
Well, no, sometimes even one turkey will be
spending about the same amount of money and getting half the food.
No, even one turkey can cost that much. It depends whether or not you get 2 turkeys, whether you're going to spend $100 or $200. But yes. Marie can tell you, because it's about 150. Yeah, where if you go to some of these places and they'll do the turkey, they'll do the dressing for you, they'll do whatever. You get the fixings, even like a pie, and for $65.
See, and
you feel about 30 plus people.
We don't feed that many people anymore.
We don't.
The last couple of years, it's just been me and her and the kids, and that's it.
Hi, snobby
We
scrap
don't take that
picker.
much.
Nice to see you. So how much
Hello,
do you
snobby
spend?
scrap picker. Thank you for joining us.
Really. Thank you for joining us. How much do you spend on Thanksgiving dinner?
Some people don't celebrate Thanksgiving too, so
Oh, that's
don't
true.
assume that people celebrate something just because you do.
Or they celebrated a day after, a day before, but
or some people don't
or
celebrate
don't
it at
celebrate
all.
all.
It's an American
Well, it's known as
holiday. Not
something.
everybody on YouTube is an American.
But some people celebrate it in a different way, but it's around the same time, kind of like Hanukkah and Christmas.
But now we just have just us and the kids right now. It's probably going to be with everything going on in the world. You think we're going to have a big celebration this year?
I doubt it.
And
I ain't going in there. I'm going to be buying it off of those barbecue places like Bill Miller's or something like that, Chisholm Trail.
But see,
or something like
here's
that.
the other thing. You're talking about cooking a whole turkey, and this is where I agree with her buying it, because we can buy lesser quantity than what it would cost me to go out and buy a whole turkey. But if you're talking about just buying a whole turkey versus buying one that's pre-cooked, it's going to be cheaper to make it yourself every single time.
Wow, that is a good price, Nance. $29.95. You can get the turkey and all the fixings plus a pie for $29.95. That's actually pretty good because then you don't even have to cook it.
Now, are you talking about like a serving of turkey or the whole turkey? Because around here, you can't even buy the whole turkey by itself uncooked for $29.95.
And remember, it depends on where you're at, too. Because maybe.
It might be just where you're at. I don't know. But around
that's
here,
a good darn price. I'd be on that real
you're going to
fast.
spend that just to buy the turkey without all the trimmings, and the turkey won't be cooked. That's what you get it for at the grocery store when you go buy the turkey.
I guess you would, huh? Well, and then some people don't use turkeys. Some people use goose or duck for Thanksgiving or Christmas. So, I mean,
but whatever holidays you celebrate, whatever feast you do, whatever celebrations you do, sometimes some things it's cheaper to buy it. It's not cheaper; it's more convenient.
2 turkey breasts
because you're spending money to save yourself time. This is something I talk about in the business aspect anyway. Is spend money to save time. Sure, as long as you're going to use that time to do something productive instead of just sit around watching TV. If you're going to just sit around watching TV, get up your ass and do the work yourself. But if you're going to spend that time to do something productive for your business, then yeah, absolutely, it's a very good expense to spend money to save yourself time. I would do it in my business. I would hire somebody else to do something for me because they can do it faster and easier than I can.
Wow, Aaron.
And then that frees me up to do something else.
Right.
That's what
he says. If you spend about 100, you get the turkey for around 20. I've seen that too, James. I really have. Wait till she wakes up, Snobby, or we'll both be in trouble. That's funny. I don't even know. We got off the subject. I'm reading the comments now, and I got off the subject of what we were talking about. But I get what you're saying, and you're right. Like I said, there are some things that do, like you said, it's beneficial for you to go ahead and cook. And not only that, it's healthier because you don't know what they put in some of that other stuff. But like Thanksgiving dinner here, it makes better sense for us because it's just us 3 or 4.
If you're cooking it yourself, you know exactly what's in it.
But I will say, James makes a mean barbecue when he is not distracted and when he's not have like 2 things going on and he just focuses on the barbecue and that's it, nothing else. He makes a mean barbecue. Nobody hands down can beat James on a barbecue around here. I love his barbecue.
I grew up making barbecue.
So. But yeah, nobody in my whole family can cook barbecue. So, I mean.
Yeah, the funny because around here, our town is known for the barbecue and everybody's always asking us, which barbecue place do you go to? It's like, I don't. If I want barbecue, I'm going to my backyard. Because that's the best barbecue in town.
Yeah, he makes
all the restaurants that sell barbecue around here, I don't like them. The one that is halfway decent and their food's halfway decent is so ridiculously high priced, it's not worth going to.
Yeah, it's like it's $65 for like 2 people to eat.
Yeah, I mean the one time we went to eat there, it cost us like $65,
and that was just me and him. It wasn't
and
like my son.
all we really ate
else.
was the meat because their side dishes were disgusting. We didn't like them. Well, we did like their meat; it was decent, but I didn't think it was worth what they charged for it.
Yeah, it wasn't.
And I'm like, if I'm gonna spend that much money, you know how much meat I could have smoked for $65.
But now we have that other place now, Riley's Pit Barbecue. They're pretty good. They were pretty good. I mean, they were good. They were decent. So I mean, especially for the price.
But if I've got the time, I've got the time and the money and everything, I'll do it myself. I mean, got a brisket sitting in the freezer right now. But
oh wow, we need to come over. You need to come over here, James. Come over here for Thanksgiving and help James. You and him can collaborate on a good Thanksgiving meal down here. James went to school, but not for very long.
I went to a culinary school that was my college. I went to culinary school, but I didn't complete it.
He didn't complete it. No, he found out really fast he didn't like it.
Well, it's not only that, but I got down to a point where my parents had no money because my dad was in college finishing his master's. My brother was in college. I was in college all at the same time.
That's funny.
They couldn't afford to pay for me to go to school.
Yeah.
I didn't qualify because I sucked at doing schoolwork in high school, so I really didn't qualify for the scholarship.
Oh, and he was very shy.
I was very shy. I was
you know what he's doing right now? He would not be doing this in school. Like okay, so guys, I've known James since we were in junior high, okay?
I failed speech class. I failed my high school speech class because I refused to get up and talk in front of the class.
He would do the whole report.
Videos out on YouTube for the whole world to see how stupid
I know, that's hilarious. He would do the whole report and the teacher would be like, well, you know you're going to get an F. I don't care.
Yep.
I don't care.
I would do the work, but I would not get up and do the class presentation.
Yeah, because he didn't want to stand up in front of the whole class, but yet here he is on YouTube today with y'all talking on YouTube, and it just blows my mind.
But I'm different. I mean, I've changed. I mean, that was not 40 years ago.
No, but you did all the way through high school too. So
it was 20 years ago.
I'm very proud of him.
20 years ago, I've grown up a little bit.
Yeah, he's gotten a little.
Imagine that, somebody being different 20 years.
But I will tell you that he is the first guy that I have ever seen stand up to a teacher and tell them no, and be very ornery about it. The first guy ever to be like, I'm not going to do that.
She didn't like me, and she knew my mom because my mom worked for the school system, so all my teachers knew my mom, and. That was the thing, was she was like the only teacher that did this, though. Even though all my teachers knew my mom, she was constantly hoarding it over my head. If you don't do what I tell you, I'm going to call your mother. Almost every single day. She was on me. I'm going to call your mother. I'm going to call your mother. I'm going to call your mother. And I got sick of it. And I was just like, call her.
Yeah, he did. He said,
I'll tell her myself.
He goes, I don't care. Go ahead, call her. I was like, my eyes get like this big, and I was like, whoa. Was that the math teacher or the English teacher?
James, that's kind of what I figured out as I went through culinary school. Part of it was I figured out that I didn't want to work in food service for the rest of my life, even though I still did it for the next 5-6 years after that. But the other part of that was I had a choice, and this is where that story was actually going. I had a choice. I got to a point where my dad was out of money. They couldn't pay for me. I couldn't get any scholarships. I had a choice. I could put a roof over my head, or I could pay my tuition to go to school. Having a roof over my head won for some stupid reason.
What? You didn't want to be on the side of the road homeless?
I didn't. Yeah. I'm in college, but I'm living in my car because I don't have a place to live. And the roof leaks.
Hey, it happens. It happens to a lot of great ones. But what gets them sometimes is that credit card that they like to put on.
I didn't have a credit card.
Well, I know my problem.
I didn't make enough money to get a credit card.
What? They hand them out for free like hotcakes over inside the campus?
Back then, they didn't.
Yeah, it gets a lot of college students in trouble. That's for sure.
Now it's a whole lot easier for people that have nothing to get a credit card. Back then, you still had to have a job. You had to have an income. You had to have all these qualifications to get credit. And I'm glad I didn't go down that path anyway. I mean, I could have taken out student loans like so many other people I knew did. But I have never believed in building debt. I have never believed in building credit. I don't believe in debt. I hate debt. The little bit of debt I've ever had was things that were beyond my control.
Oh, yeah. It was funny. Today, my dad wanted to create debt for my son. It was funny. My son's got a vehicle. The repair guy. James. Yes.
And cash comes first. Cash is king. If you can't pay for it, if you don't have the money in your pocket to pay for it, the answer is no.
Right.
It's something that more people need to learn. No. It's a sentence by itself. It don't require an explanation. No means no.
So my dad wanted my son to fix his car. And then he says, and just get yourself a new car. And I was like, why would he get himself a new car if he's putting a new engine in there? I was like, it's going to be more for him to make payments on a new car when he has a perfectly good engine in there.
See, there's a lot of people like your dad that will justify going into stupid mode because something unfortunate happened. Your dad's doing exactly what most Americans do.
I'm just saying, once you put in that engine, you shouldn't have any problems with the engine anymore.
I have seen people calling. I talked about this earlier. I watch the Dave Ramsey show almost every day. I love Dave Ramsey. Not only have I followed his plans myself, but I have actually become a coach for his stuff.
Right.
But I still watch his show. I was watching it earlier today. And I see people almost every day calling into his show saying, oh, I want to go take out this car loan because my $2,000 car broke down, so I have to go buy a $30,000 car that I can't afford.
No, if you're going to make up $2,000.
If your $2,000 car broke down, go buy yourself another $2,000 car and run it till it falls apart.
That's right, James. Roof, then food, then bills, then other. Totally agree with you there.
Well, you've got what we call, there's the 4 walls, which is your shelter, your food, clothing, transportation, and necessities.
Right.
And that's what every dime you make should go to those things first before you do anything extra. And if somebody else is having to pay those for you because you don't make enough money, then you don't have money to eat out. You don't have money to go party. You don't have money to go buying presents for other people. Because if you're not covering those, that means you're dependent on somebody else to survive. And you should be spending every second, every minute, everything that you make going towards those things.
But I don't want rice and beans. I want something a little better than rice and beans.
Too bad.
Can we have
That's
pizza?
what you've earned.
No. Can we have pizza? No.
Pizza's too expensive.
Darn it.
Peanut butter and jelly, yes.
$5. 2 meals. I bet you James could get 2 meals out of a one pizza, maybe. Oh yeah, he says because he hates pizza. Peanut butter and jelly. Gross.
Learn to love it.
I don't like. Okay, so here's the story about peanut butter and jelly. My mom fed it to me every single day in elementary school. Mom, I'm hungry. Get yourself a thing of peanut butter and jelly. Mom, I'm hungry. Get your thing of peanut butter and jelly. Yep. So guess what I do not like now? Peanut butter and jelly.
There's a lot of things I don't like that I do every day.
I have to be in the mood for peanut butter and jelly.
There's a lot of things. See, this is something she and I don't click on at all. I do things every single day that I don't like doing because it's the right thing to do. Peanut butter and jelly.
I thought he liked peanut butter and jelly. I don't know. I'm not a fan of it though. I'd rather have a sandwich before a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So, which we were just talking about earlier. Bread pizza, like a piece of bread, just a piece of bread. And how do you do that? Just just a piece of regular bread that you would use on a sandwich, James? I don't understand.
Well, you got to give it time. It takes No. We're from Texas. Other end of the country.
Wow, that's cool.
Y'all from New York.
No.
This ain't no New York City.
Well, you don't sound Texas either. You don't sound Texan. That's the thing.
Bread, tomato soup, hot dog, cheese slice.
We're closer to Austin, Texas. Snobby.
I threw up in my mouth a little bit, James.
Oh, that's kind of gross. You lost me at the hot dog.
Whatever floats your boat, James. Have at it.
Hey, James, I'm going to go. I'm going to surprise
I'm not
James.
having to eat it.
Hey, you eat anything. You're like a pit stomach that doesn't care what he eats. Yeah.
I do care about what I eat, but I will also eat whatever I have to eat to survive if I'm in survival mode. And this is one of the things
yes,
people
Snobby,
don't get.
it is hot where we
when
are
you're
at.
that broke that you are living in survival mode and your survival depends on you making the right decisions, it's totally different.
Hey, would you would eat that? Honestly, James, I probably eat
yes,
eggs.
it is really hot.
I probably eat eggs for breakfast before I ate that.
It's like 80 degrees in the room we're in right now, and we're inside.
Yeah, and we're inside. It's pretty hot.
It's pretty hot in here. That's why, I mean, you see the glistening sweat. I mean, it was up to, I think it was at 108 today outside when I went out there.
Oh, wow, that's kind of hot. I'm glad I didn't go out there.
Pepperoni hot dog.
Right? Ooh. That sounds like something you'd say.
No. I'll have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It's actually cheaper.
You want to know? He thinks it's gross, James. I tell him, why don't you put a little bit of sausage in your macaroni and cheese? Oh, no. In your spaghetti. In your spaghetti, because it tastes really good in spaghetti.
In the spaghetti, yeah, I don't get that.
It's good. Oh, my gosh. Y'all should try it.
I just put ground beef in there.
It's a Cajun thing, I think. Because I've eaten it with sausage before, or else I wouldn't have said it. I thought it sounded gross too, but it tastes pretty good with sausage. I don't know what type of sausage they use. So
sorry, Cajun Chris ain't here.
I
said Cajun Chris ain't here to tell me if that's a Cajun dish or not.
I don't know. That's what Jim Brandy told me, and she's from Louisiana, so or her family's from Louisiana. So, but yeah, try sausage. Sausage tastes really good. It also tastes good in beef macaroni and cheese. We'll do that. We'll do sausage and we'll do ground meat with their beef and macaroni and cheese. So,
yep.
See?
Sausage and spaghetti is good.
See? He says sausage and spaghetti
I do the sausage with fettuccine Alfredo and chicken, which is kind of, there's a Cajun dish there, but you also season it with some Cajun spices and stuff instead of just Italian spices. And I do that. I love it that way. Throw a little shrimp in there, and a little chicken, a little bit of sausage, some Alfredo, get some good Cajun seasoning in there, get it a little bit spicy. I love stuff like that. Maybe some peppers and onions. But spaghetti sauce, tomato sauce, yeah. Because you got the bitter of the tomato sauce, and then you got the sharpness of the sausage, and they kind of don't complement each other very well. That's the thing is, my palate doesn't like conflicting flavors. I like complementary flavors. Ground beef, can of Campbell's, tomato soup. Well, that can be good. Yeah, I made a lot of cheap meals. I make, good old beans and rice. Just a pot of beans with some sausage cut up in it. Throw it over some rice. Beans and rice, baby. There's a meal right there. It's all about the seasoning, because beans really don't have any natural flavor. Beans are all about what seasoning you put in it. So I got my own unique spice mixture that I put in there. I love it. Jessica and the kids don't like it. I'll make it all the time. I would make it almost every week. But it's cheap. And, that's where the whole beans and rice thing comes. It's about eating on the cheap. And, I grew up that way. Again, I grew up on nothing. I mean, I have very little right now. I don't have a big fancy house. I don't have big fancy cars. But everything I have, I've earned and I've worked for my whole life. And I've started over 3 times with nothing. I got a divorce in 2005. And I lost everything in the divorce. I didn't have anything. I had my vehicle and the clothes on my back, and that was it. Started over from nothing. Rebuilt my life up. I lost everything due to my own stupidity when my business went bankrupt in 2010. Had nothing. That's about the same time Jessica and I got together, when I was coming back out of that. Then Emily was born. built it up. Everything I have, I've built up since then.
What? I heard Emily's name.
Now, cornbread, James. Beans and rice with cornbread.
Are we getting hungry here now?
We're going to be in the
Talking about
kitchen cooking some food here in a minute.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. We're going to be getting hungry in a
But
minute.
Jessica don't like beans and rice. She'll eat it every once in a while, but she doesn't eat, like, when I cook what I like, she doesn't eat it. And then I also like, you know, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I make that's
I like beans.
pretty cheap and easy to make. And
I like beans, but I think who said beans and rice and cornbread?
I think
did. James.
He said beans and rice with toast.
Yeah, but you usually put sausage in that too. But there's one that's really too spicy for me that I can't eat it. That's
I
why
love
I don't like it.
We take some of the store brand macaroni and cheese, roll up some either some sliced up sausage or some hamburger, mix that all up.
Yeah, the macaroni and cheese with the hamburger is really good.
She likes it with the hamburger. I like it with some.
I'll eat it with sausage too.
Good kielbasa sausage sliced up.
I like it that way too. So does my other son. I like it both ways, so I'm fine. I wonder how it would taste with chicken. Chicken with maybe some broccoli.
I've done chicken and broccoli in with it.
That sounds actually kind of good. Yeah, James is over here making me hungry, Marie.
I love getting some bell peppers, hollow them out, and make some stuffed peppers. We'll get some bell peppers, slice them in half, and do stuffed peppers that way.
Yeah, y'all got to put some of the meals. Snobby, you should put some of the meals that you try up there too. Because James is listing all these meals over here. But you might get hungry too. Marie, you too. You might be hungry. You should listen. What are some cheap meals that y'all make? Those are just some of the ones that we make over here. But it gets kind of redundant. We kind of don't like it too much after a while. I think I've even rolled up. What? I've been known to get a tortilla with a piece of cheese and roll it into a hot dog. That actually tastes pretty good together.
I mean, I'll take a tortilla, throw some sandwich meat on there, and just roll it up. Got myself a little wrap. Bam. There you go.
I like mine with a hot dog. But
she's like, we don't have any bread. I said, we got tortillas. Make a sandwich wrap. There you go. And she's like, no, I can't do that.
Well, because that's not the same tortilla as a sandwich wrap. If it would have been a regular wrap, maybe. Oh, which reminds me, I saw some spinach wraps. At the moment, it's 5. Oh,
breakfast.
Oh yeah, breakfast anytime is what I say. I didn't realize it was that early. I mean, yeah, that's pretty early. Yeah, you're in England.
We're across the pond over there.
Wow, you're up early then, Snobby. What time do you usually wake up? See, I told you you'd be hungry.
It's about 2 minutes till midnight here. So
yeah, we'll probably be wrapping it up, James, so that you can go eat too. What was I going to say? Let's get back down to, now I'm hungry too. I've got some leftover pizza from this earlier. So
about 5:30.
About 5:30. Okay. Well, that's not too bad. I thought maybe you were up till 4. I was going to be like, whoa, that's early. I was up at that time this morning thanks to my dad.
4:30 and 5
I thought someone had died.
I went to the prison. So.
My dad calls me. He does not usually call me at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I thought somebody was dead or something. For him to be calling that way, he was just in a lot of pain. He took a spill yesterday, so I had to go and get him some pain medicine. He didn't even have ibuprofen at his house, so I went over there and traveled over there. Yeah, I think James does that too. He catches up on the videos too.
Yeah, James, I can't eat too close to going to bed or else it keeps me up.
I can, but I want to eat light sometimes. It depends. I don't like to eat like a whole, but like a lot. But like I might grab me like a small little snack or something because like James said, it might keep me up too. Or
wake up, catch up on videos, and start your day. I guess that's a good way to do it. For me,
he does it from the time he gets it. He gets his cup of coffee.
Well, like usually when I get up, it depends on which time I get up. If I get up early, it's usually like 7 and Victoria's on. Or if I sleep late, then Ecom and Beyond is about to come on. And those are 2 shows I try to catch them if I'm up.
Pusa. I recognize Pusa anywhere. I haven't seen Pusa in a while.
They come on. Well, they've been on vacation, but they usually come on in the evenings.
Oh, okay.
Not in the mornings. But those are the 2 shows I'm usually watching first thing in the morning. Is either Victoria's, and of course, if I miss Victoria's show, I catch her on the replay and watch the replay of hers until Ecom comes on. Because sometimes she goes for an hour, sometimes she goes for 2 hours.
So what kind of video do y'all want us to do next? Do y'all want us to do a thrifting versus garage sale? Or
I've already got my video planned out for the next.
Oh, you do? What is your video for the next one?
Don't worry about it.
Darn, you don't want to give them a little hint?
No.
Oh, you mainly eat barbecue food where y'all are at? I'm tired of barbecue snobby. I'll be honest, we live in the barbecue state. We live in Texas over here, and which is a barbecue state as it is, but Lockhart is known for the barbecue.
The thing is, here's the thing:
they have like 5 or 6
barbecue
here.
all the time. I know everybody thinks, "Oh, you live in Texas, you eat steak every day." No, we don't.
Oh,
steak is still a treat because it's expensive.
I do love a big good steak.
It's not something we eat all the time. Barbecue. We love some barbecue. I love some barbecue brisket. And everybody's got their own definition of what barbecue is, too. You come over here to Texas, we got barbecue. You go to Kansas City, they got their own type of barbecue. You go over to Memphis, they got a different style of barbecue. You go all the way over to the Carolinas, they got their own barbecue.
Memphis has some good barbecue.
You go up north, and they got some weird crap that they call barbecue.
Yeah, Memphis has some good barbecue. I've eaten in Memphis.
So
pretty good.
Everybody's got their own definition of barbecue. What we call barbecue is dry smoked food that's smoked and cooked for a really long time, and the meat speaks for itself. It's all in the seasoning of the meat and the smoke.
Oh, it's so good.
And when you cook a brisket, if you cut into that brisket and it don't fall apart, you didn't cook it right.
Yep. That's true. Brisket. That's what
I make a brisket. It just melts. You don't need a knife to cut my brisket because
I'll make him cook some and then show it to y'all the next time we're on there. I'll make him.
This is not going to be a food channel, y'all. I am.
It doesn't mean to, but maybe they want to see the good brisket you made.
I might show off some of my food one of these days, but this is not going to be a food channel.
Hey, so that's me. I'm not going to be doing
cooking videos and all that crap.
Yeah, it won't, but still. Oh yeah, that's the best way.
We do grilled too, but that's not barbecue. Barbecue is smoked. Grilled is grilled.
Grilled food on the charcoal.
I grill my steaks. I barbecue my brisket.
I don't know. I don't know the difference in all that. So.
Barbecue is cooked low and slow, low heat, long period of time.
So no cooking.
No, James is not doing a cooking channel. Although I said I had 5 channels earlier. One of the channels that I had tried to do a long time ago was a cooking channel. Didn't work out so well. It's a hard job to do cooking videos well, especially when you don't have the kitchen set up the right way. And our kitchen is not set up to where I can really do
our kitchen's worthless at the moment. But
so no, I am not doing a cooking channel. I might cook some food and then show off what I did, but if you want to see some good cooking videos, go check out Danny Mae's Adventures because she does it somehow in a freaking trailer.
James, you are just like me. I do not, as long as there's no red or pink, we're good.
There's no red or pink, it's overdone.
Yeah, it's well done. Heck yeah.
It's overdone.
In Texas, that's sacrilegious, by the way. And I'm a Texan. And heck no. I know a lot of Texans that don't like it medium rare.
If it's not medium rare, it's overcooked.
If it's mooing, you can forget that. That grosses me out.
That's not mooing. Mooing is mooing.
Mooing is pink. Anything pink or red or bloody
is not mooing.
Is like, ugh. So that's Texas for
But
you.
that's why your meat's always dry, is because you like it so overcooked that it's.
I don't want it like a shoestring, but there is that fine line right in between. It's not pink, but it's not like well done. Like shoe leather. I mean, you can get to where that, and that's where I like it. I like it right in between. You don't see any pink, but it's not like shoe leather. And that's
yes,
very
there
hard
is
to pick.
such a thing as overcooked, James.
Yeah.
When it's so hard that you can't get into it with a freaking sledgehammer, that's the way she likes to eat it.
No, I do not like to eat it like that. He forgets about it, and then he'll go back and be like,
if it's not shoe leather, it's not done.
No, I said there's that fine line between the pink and going into the, right after pink. It doesn't need to be any. Just as long as there's no pink, we're good. If you cook it longer than that, then it's like shoe leather. I do not like mine like shoe leather. But he does make a mean steak too. He's got this. On our wedding, he had a really good steak. His dad made a really.
My
good
dad
steak.
made the steaks for our wedding. We got a really good deal on sirloin steaks right before our wedding. So my dad marinated them, cooked them on the grill for everybody because we had a small wedding. We didn't have a big, huge wedding, so it didn't take that many steaks.
Yeah, I only spent we only spent $185 on our wedding. Our whole wedding from.
No, we spent more than that.
Oh, 300. 300.
Like
300.
400 or 500 on the whole wedding, everything. But that included the clothing, the food, the guest invitations, everything. We were like $500 into our wedding.
I only spent $70 on my dress, so.
I do like pulled pork, yes.
Yes.
I make some pulled pork.
Oh,
James, I can do it two ways. Pork. I can do it smoked, or I can just do it in the kitchen.
Crock pot.
And I'll do.
Oh wait, no, Instapot. Instapot.
No, in the crock. I'll do it either way. I'll do it.
He does it either way, Instapot or crock pot.
That's the thing. If I want to cook it fast, I'll do it in the Instapot. It's done in about an hour. If I wanted to cook it low and slow, I'll throw it in the crock pot the day before. It'll cook all night long, all day long, and then it's ready by the time I get off work.
And guys, I'm gonna give you a little secret. So, when my mom was in the hospital, we were going to and from the hospital and stuff, and there were a lot of people that were coming from out of town and stuff, and some of them were low on funds and stuff. So what we did is we went and bought a pork shoulder, whatever you want to call it.
Well, we had some pork shoulders that actually we already had it. It was in the freezer because we get them every once in a while. They drop the price on them and they get them for like 99 cents a pound.
Yeah, we get
them. So I could pick them up. I mean, I bet I get a 6-7 pound freaking. And I mean, sometimes it'll get down to like 60 cents a pound. I mean, it gets dirt cheap.
Yeah.
I'll get a whole freaking
not now with COVID,
pork shoulder roast for like, $5. And so I took one, threw it in the crock pot, cooked it all night and all day when her mom was in the hospital. Took it up there with some barbecue sauce, hamburger buns, everything. And everybody on the family ate. And we wound up taking some home. And it cost us like $5.
But everybody that was going to go out to eat in the cafeteria, they didn't have to because we took the crock pot with us.
Yeah, so we just took the whole crock pot and everything. So everybody in the family was able to eat without having to spend. And you got to realize that cafeteria food, you're talking about like $8-9 a person. There was like 10-15 people there. And everybody ate off of that $5.
Yeah, and some of them had been there for like a couple of days. So they were like, hey, can you leave it? We even left it there for a little bit.
Emily, one of the things we keep in this is something we talk about with our families with special needs kids. But one of the things we keep in our emergency kit is a mini crock pot. And we'll throw stuff in there while my daughter's in the hospital. We'll throw a piece of meat in there and let it cook all day. And then the nurses are coming in to do her vitals and stuff. And they're like,
what are you doing?
What's that smell? Dinner. Because if she's in the hospital, we can't eat out every day just because she's in the hospital.
I think we spent
we decided we spent like
$800.
$800 in like a week and a half. Because we didn't know to prepare and we were eating.
We didn't know how. We didn't know how to. This is stuff we just learned. Like you said.
With her being diabetic, she's got to eat regularly, so I can't just not eat. Which is what I would do. I would just, eat once a day. But she's diabetic. She's got to eat more regularly than that.
Yeah. Sometimes when he's in a good mood, he takes care of me. And sometimes when I've really gotten him in a bad mood, he won't take care of me. He's like, fend for yourself.
That's
But
a
he
shrimp
tries
on the
to.
Barbie, Snobby.
Hey, you know what? I don't know. Oh, wait. He said prawn. I've never had prawn. Isn't that the stuff that goes
They're
with
the
the
big
corn?
shrimps.
Oh.
No, prawns are the big, huge jumbo shrimps.
Okay. Yeah, I don't like shrimp. I'm not. They tried me on metformin, James, and
Jessica couldn't take
I couldn't
metformin.
take it. I like dropped a lot of weight. I got really sick off of it. So they took me off of it and they put me on Genevia. That seemed to work really good. So you might want to talk to your doctor about that. If you've got insurance, there's also a coupon.
I don't know if it's available in Canada either.
I don't know if it'll be available, but try Genevia. That worked really good, and it's at least on me.
I'm saying Canada has a different healthcare system. They have public healthcare.
Well, you're lucky because I wasn't the first time they put me on it.
I don't know if
well, I know
available
I get you
in Canada because of that.
Yeah, I get you. I get.
Yeah,
what
some
Jim's
people
saying.
are really allergic to metformin, so
I'm one of them.
she couldn't take it.
I mean, I grew up so bad that my husband was saying, "What did you say? You were really worried about me. Everyone was worried about me." I was like, "No, I'll be okay." But like my leg looked like a skeleton. I dropped so much weight, like it looked really bad. And then when I was looking at my leg, I was like, maybe I do need to. Well, you're lucky because not everything is covered over here. So when I went to the hospital, nothing was covered. Look,
Hey,
Thrifty
Lobster.
Hey, I saw you yesterday, Thrifty. I wanted to tell you.
We went by your live stream. She was watching over my shoulder when I was on your live stream.
I loved it.
Even though we got there just at the end.
Yeah, we did. We got there right at the end.
See, the problem is, Lobster, you should not be doing your live stream at the same time Danny May's auction is going on because everybody was over at her auction.
That's a good price.
And then you ended the live stream just as everybody was coming in because they had just ended her auction and everybody was coming in and then you left.
Yeah, I was seeing.
So don't schedule your premiere at the same time as the charity auction for Danny May.
How was he supposed to know when it was going to end? That was a long freaking charity auction.
5.5 hour long auction. That was freaking insane, but it was great.
I know. It was great to see all
that. But we
that.
did miss your premiere. We caught the very end of it because we came over right when they ended the auction. And you only paid $2 for your dispensing fee for your medications.
I know. See, that's what Trump's trying to get for us.
We need to move to Canada.
No, Trump is trying to do that for us right now.
How about y'all just move Canada down here? Because I don't like the cold. It was only
a 10 minute. Oh. Well, either way, I loved it. I liked what I saw just a little bit. I came in like probably the last minute or two. So, and I was asking, I couldn't see you at first. And James was like, he's right there. And I said, you mean that big old blur of blue?
Yeah, most of your camera was on your shirt, so she couldn't see you.
It took me a second. You had to walk away from the camera for a second before I could see you.
It wasn't until you went around, because when you were putting stuff in your car, and then you walked around the car and got in the car.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. I liked it. I have to say, I liked your premiere. So I'll have to catch you more often. Right, James?
Yeah, it happens.
Right, James? Well,
we've been talking food, Lobster.
Yeah, we've been
Speaking of lobster, if you throw a lobster on the burger, is it still cannibalism?
Picks of my stomach. What about cannibalism?
Lobster. If we throw a lobster on the barbecue, is it still cannibalism?
Oh, that's like...
I got you. You figured it out.
Oh my gosh. This man, I swear. But yeah, we'll see what happens with this election. That's going to be interesting. That's all I'm going to say about that. So hopefully, supposedly this new prescription is supposed to start seeing our prescriptions go down. Trump signed something into law, so we should hopefully see him like that.
We're not getting into politics right now.
I know, but I'm just saying we should.
We're not getting into politics right now.
Hey, I didn't say if I was for Trump or not, so I'm not going to let anybody know.
Night, Snobby.
You take care. I hope you have a good breakfast. Bye, Snobby.
You're gonna go to bed. Yeah, I think we're fixing to head off too. It's after midnight now. Been on for 2 hours and 15 minutes. So thank you guys that have hung in this long. Thank you
If you
guys
like
that have
us,
come in and out.
subscribe down
And
below,
if
hit
y'all
the
are,
button.
yeah, if anybody that's new here that hasn't been here already, make sure you'll subscribe to our channel. Otherwise, we will talk to you guys later. Sorry you came in right before we left, Lobster. We will see you next time. Y'all have a great night.
We're gonna try to keep it around 10 o'clock. And our next live is when?
Tuesday.
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 Meet us here. Tuesday. Take care, guys. Y'all take care. Bye, James. Hope to see you Tuesday. Bye, Snobby.